What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be doing a reading for all my Capricorn Sun sign friends. If you're born between the dates of December 22nd and January 19th, then you are a Capricorn Sun sign, and this video is for you. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit differently. I'm going to be using 3 different oracle decks, and I like to call this spread the Healing the Shadow spread, or Healing the Shadow reading. And we all have a shadow side, a dark side that for many of us is hidden, and it kind of controls us in many ways, and most of us don't even realize it or understand how. But this spread is designed to help you to learn about the shadow and learn how to heal the shadow so it doesn't have such a large role in your life. One thing I do want to say before we get too far into this is that this is a very general reading for a large group of people. Not everything is meant to resonate with everyone, so take what works for you, leave the rest. But I think in this reading you'll know pretty early on whether or not it resonates, depending how aware you are of your shadow side. So let's get into it. We're going to be using the Mortem Oraculum, the Keepers of the Light Oracle, and the crystal reading cards for this reading. So the first card we're going to look at is this one, and it represents where your shadow lies, Capricorn friends. And we've got a crow with death. Oh my. Give me a moment with this one. Okay. The feeling I'm getting from this card is that for a lot of you, and again, not going to resonate with all of you, but I think your shadow side is really showing itself the most right now in a fear of change, in a fear of the unknown. And, you know, whenever we have a fear of change or a fear of the unknown, we tend to escape to our comfort zones, and we try to keep things as close to the same as we possibly can. But we know that, you know, all change is positive, all change is helping you to grow, and all change is going to be beneficial to you. But, you know, the ego mind or the shadow side has different ideas, and maybe it wants to protect you, but I think also the shadow really wants to hold you back. It wants to keep you stuck in place, and that's really the feeling I'm getting for a lot of Capricorns. And you might not realize this. You know, some people are completely unaware of their shadow, and they let the shadow side just run their life. Other people are very aware of their shadow, and they do as much as they can to minimize its role in their life. So we all fall somewhere in between those two extremes. So you got to figure out where you stand and how much of a role your shadow plays in your life. But I think that for a lot of you, that fear of change, that fear of the unknown is really holding you back, and it's stopping you maybe from taking some chances or taking risks, or maybe it's stopping you from trying new things. Maybe it's stopping you from growing, and that's not a good thing. Of course, we have to find a way to heal that, and that's what these other cards should tell us. So let's move on over to this card, which represents how you can heal your shadow. What entity is willing to work with you? And we've got Melchizedek, higher learning. You have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further progress. And the feeling I'm getting from this card is that I think you have to raise your consciousness. I think in order to realize that all change is good, you have to see change from a higher perspective. You have to raise your vibration so that you can... Okay, let's look at it this way. Let's look at it in terms of Earth, all right? You look at a rodent, okay? And the rodent has this certain perspective. It's on the ground, you know, it's in the grass, so it sees these grass as like huge trees, and it can only see, you know, what's kind of on the ground right in front of it, okay? And that's kind of a lower perspective, and I feel like that's where most people on this planet are. Now, take a look at the eagle, who is much further, much higher, I should say, and it sees so much more. It sees the bigger picture. Not only does it see the grass, but it sees the trees and the mountains and the mountain ranges, and it can see the ocean. So it's the same type of animal. I mean, they're not that much different. They both have brains and lungs and intestines and all those things, but one is at a higher vantage point. And if you can see humanity in that way, where most of us are the rodent, and we're on the ground and we only see 2 feet in front of us, but some of us, we have expanded our awareness awareness, expanded our consciousness to the point where we're more like the eagle and we can see things from a higher vantage point. And I think that's what Spirit is asking you to do, is if you want to see what change really is and how it's really affecting you, then you're going to have to raise your vibration, raise your frequency, raise your consciousness to a higher level and see things from a overall vantage point. Right? If you can only see 2 feet in front of you, then change seems terrifying. You don't know what's going to happen. But if you can see what change is in the overall grand scheme of things, you see where its place is in relation to everything, then it's nothing to be feared, because you know that it's here to help you. You know that it's going to bring positivity into your life. So it's easy to say, but I think it's a conscious decision that you need to make, where I would like to be the eagle. I would like to make advancements in spirituality. I would like to expand my consciousness. And it's as simple as setting that intention. If you set that intention, things are going to start happening that are going to be in alignment with that, if that's what you truly want. So if this resonates with you, if you fear change perhaps, or if you feel yourself being drawn away from experimenting and leaving your comfort zone, then I think the solution is to raise your vibration. And there's thousands of different ways that you can do that. I won't go into that now, or else this would be a 45-minute video. All right, so let's move on over to this last card. And this card represents what crystal or healing energy my Capricorn friends can focus on to help heal their shadow. And I've got crocite, sexuality. Now, I've never actually worked with crocite, so I can't really be too specific about it. But I'm getting the energy of creation, of making things that are have never been seen before, right? That's creativity. Is taking your skills, your knowledge, your wisdom, your emotions, and making something that no one's ever seen before. And you know what? That takes bravery, it takes confidence, and it takes a willingness to experiment and get out of your comfort zone. So while I can't recommend crocite since I've never worked with it, I can recommend sunstone or carnelian. All these crystals that vibrate at the lower chakras are going to help you expand your creativity. They're going to help you to get outside your comfort zone, move outside of your box, and try new things. So I think creativity here is definitely something that you should focus on. Try to be as creative as possible. You know why? Because that's going to take you out of your comfort zone, which is exactly what you need to do, which is how you're going to heal the shadow. Is you're going to get more and more comfortable with leaving that comfort zone, with experimenting, with trying new things, with just creating. Right? That's what creating is. Creation is about bringing change. And that's exactly what your shadow side is trying to stop you from. So that's how you're going to counteract it, is to consciously and willingly express yourself creatively. And so yeah, like I don't, here's some carnelian. I wish I could talk about crocite. I just don't know much about it. I'm sorry. I've never seen it sold. So maybe it's a little bit of a rarer crystal. But you get the picture, right? You know, a cheaper alternative would be sunstone. Let me show you some sunstone. Hold on. Here's a sunstone sphere. It comes from India. This one you can also find in Oregon, although the Oregon sunstone's a much different variety. But anyway, I'm not trying to talk about too much about crystals here today. I just want to hammer the point home that creativity is going to help you tremendously. So now that we've seen the cards as a whole, Capricorn friends, I definitely feel as though a fear of change, a fear of movement, a fear of progress is holding you back. Fear of the unknown, I think, is the best way to describe it. And that's kind of your shadow, and your shadow's trying to pull you away from creativity, trying to pull you away from experimentation. But in order to fight it, in order to combat it, in order to heal it, I think we need to see change from a higher vantage point. We have to see change from a more spiritual vantage point rather than a more like earthbound vantage point, right? Be the eagle, not the mouse, right? And as far as crystal healing, crocite, I guess, would work. But anything that helps you to be more creative. You know, we all respond to crystals differently. And if you're really into crystals, you can experiment and see which ones make you feel more creative. But if you're not into crystals, it's just a matter of expressing yourself creatively. You don't need a crystal to help you to do that. You just need a conscious decision to do so. So spread your creativity wherever you can. Experiment with it, and that'll help you get out of the energy of your shadow. Okay, does that make sense? I hope so. That is the reading. I hope you guys got something out of that. Again, this is a general reading for a large group of people. Not everything resonates. I know that. But if you want a specific reading where I tap into your energies, you can head on over to lightofriga.com. The link is in the description box below to book a personal reading with me. This would fall under the 3-card reading category, which is as low as $10. So check that out if you would. Please do the YouTube stuff, the liking, the sharing, the subscribing, the commenting. It all helps this channel a lot, and it helps spread the healing around, so I'd appreciate that a lot. Alright, Capricorn friends, that's all I've got to say. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I wish you love and light. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting. Peace.